All right, CCB Fitness. I know we're in weird times right now, and not having access to our gym is unfortunate for all of us, I know. But if you're just looking for some home workout ideas or some challenges to do at home, I got a couple to show you guys. I look funky right now because I have these socks on, and there's a reason we're going to use these socks for a little challenge I'm going to throw at some of you guys. See if you can do 2 to 3 rounds of it. If you can get up to where you're doing 15, maybe even 20 reps, that's really impressive. I don't think I can get up to 20 reps, so we'll see if some of you guys are able to achieve that. But simply put, we're going to get down into a push-up position, and all we're going to work on right here is a pike up, getting our hips as high as we can, returning ourselves down into that neutral position, trying to keep our shoulders over our elbows and our wrist. And then from there, we'll do a push-up, and then we will return ourselves down into a plank, and from there I'm going to drive my knees to my elbows on each side once, and then we will return to the top position of that pike up twice, push up twice, and then we will drop back down, and we will go 1, 2, 2, return back up to the top, and you know what it is, we rinse, wash, repeat. We're going to go 3 times into that pike up, then we'll go 3 times into our push-up, and then we will return back down into our plank 3 times each side of our elbows and knees coming together almost, and then restart. And as you can see, I'm already losing my breath a little bit, but if you can get up to where you're doing that for 15 to 20 reps, really good challenge of the day. See if you can do that about 2 to 3 rounds. All right, CCB Fitness. I know we're in weird times right now, and not having access to our gym is unfortunate for all of us, I know. But if you're just looking for some home workout ideas or some challenges to do at home, I got a couple to show you guys. I look funky right now because I have these socks on, and there's a reason we're going to use these socks for a little challenge I'm going to throw at some of you guys. See if you can do 2 to 3 rounds of it. If you can get up to where you're doing 15, maybe even 20 reps, that's really impressive. I don't think I can get up to 20 reps, so we'll see if some of you guys are able to achieve that. But simply put, we're going to get down into a push-up position, and all we're going to work on right here is a pike up, getting our hips as high as we can, returning ourselves down into that neutral position, trying to keep our shoulders over our elbows and our wrist. And then from there, we'll do a push-up, and then we will return ourselves down into a plank, and from there I'm going to drive my knees to my elbows on each side once, and then we will return to the top position of that pike up twice, push up twice, and then we will drop back down, and we will go 1, 2, 2, return back up to the top, and you know what it is, we rinse, wash, repeat. We're going to go 3 times into that pike up, then we'll go 3 times into our push-up, and then we will return back down into our plank 3 times each side of our elbows and knees coming together almost, and then restart. And as you can see, I'm already losing my breath a little bit, but if you can get up to where you're doing that for 15 to 20 reps, really good challenge of the day. See if you can do that about 2 to 3 rounds. So for a lot of us with strength training, a lot of people get worried they will lose their strength and their muscular development, really, even if you're not able to do any resistance training with a load. One way we can still practice that, and the best way to maintain it and keep it, is to do plyometrics. So the idea behind plyometrics is not to get as many reps as you can, but as many good quality reps, applying as much force as you can. So push-ups is one of the variations I'm going to show real quick. Push-ups is a great way to just increase your power output by pressing and getting as much air off the ground as we can. So just a typical plyometric push-up would look like shoulders over our hands, loading ourselves as far down as we can, splitting up, resetting, going again. We're just trying to get as high as we can. A lot of you already do those, so it's a good way to practice those at home. Another variation we can do is where we do an offsetted one, and we hold at the top for a little bit. So if you have like a medicine ball or something that elevates you a little bit higher off the ground, I have a kettlebell here. You can use this to kind of offset you And all that looks like is I'm gonna press, come up and hold. Press, come up and hold. Yet again, you can do it alternating over each way. My kettlebell's a little unsteady on these floorings, so not ideal, but you can use a block, whatever, gets you that extra oomph and get you off the ground. Another way we can do them is clapping push-ups, tapping our shoulders, hips. If you want to get crazy, we can go behind the back, driving our knees into our chest. Just different variations to apply force and maybe a little bit more difficulty. So going anywhere from 4 to 8 sets maybe, 5 to 10 reps is probably ideal for people. So give it a go. So another variation of plyometrics is obviously using our legs. So squat jumps, lunge jumps, things like that. I made this a different video simply because squats are a little bit more mechanically difficult, I believe. So a lot of people, when they do a plyometric squat jump, they try to stay vertical and they jump and they put their hands behind them. And that, as far as getting as high as you can, applying as much force as you can, inefficient. So what we actually want to think about when we squat is actually loading our hips, and not only that, but using our hands to get momentum behind us as we load. And then we want to jump as high as we can with our hands, right? So if you want to do a rapid fashion, you got to remember coming back down, jumping up and down. However, if you want to get as high as you can, reset every time. So we want to think about loading as hard as we can with our hips, starting tall, finish, land smoothly if you can. Try to land with our whole foot, not on the heel, not on the toe, but kind of gently coming into it together. And yeah, so for me, when it comes to plyometrics squatting, you can do different variations. You can actually do hip jumps. And you can see I kind of look like a little Kung Fu fighter on that one. You can do lunge jumps, of course, or we're just jumping back and forth. Yet again, using my hands to carry me into that position so I don't lose my momentum. And then, yeah, just adding in different variations. If you have a dumbbell, kettlebell at home, you can use that to add a little bit of load as well. So same thing with push-ups, about anywhere from 8 to 10 sets, and anywhere from 5 to 10 repetitions. For those of you that are blessed and lucky enough to have a pair of dumbbells at home, here's a fun complex I like to do. And depending on how much weight you have at home, you might want to increase repetitions or decrease the amount of rest you have in between the sets. But I'm a huge fan. If you are a client of mine, I'm a big fan of dumbbell and barbell complexes. Just a great way to get a lot of strength going and get some aerobic work as well. So with this one, it's going to be another build-up on repetitions. So simply put, you'll start out with 1 repetition each leg or each arm, and then you'll start out with work your way into 2 each leg, each arm, 3 each leg, 4, and then 5, okay? And then you'll take about 1.5 to 2 minutes of rest in between your sets, and you'll try to work anywhere from 4 to 5 sets if you can. Trying to work on making your exercise as efficient as it can be. You don't want to get sloppy, you don't want to get to the point that you're failing to move the weight efficiently. So our first movement is going to be a renegade row. Simply put, we're going to get into a push-up position holding the dumbbells. And in this position, I like people spreading their feet as wide as they need to keep their hips fixed. You don't want your hips rotating on this. We want to engage as much of our core and abs as we can. And so from right here, all I'm going to do is drive that dumbbell up, do a row once on each side, and that's going to be it. It's just going to be 1-1. I'll stand up. I'll drive the dumbbells up. You can load the dumbbells up front however you want. I kind of load them on my shoulders. It's comfortable for me. From right there, it's now going to be a reverse lunge. 1, 1. Very simple, right? Take dumbbells, overhead press, 1 each arm, 1, 1, and then we will return to our renegade row. And yes, it's going to be now 2 each arm. Think about keeping my hips fixed. Stand it up, return the dumbbells to that front load, 2 each leg of that reverse lunge. Yet again, we work on the best range of motion we can, and then 2 each arm of that overhead press. And for everybody, it's going to be different. Depending on what dumbbells you have at home, it'll be different. But give this a go. Try to get anywhere from 4 to 5 sets, about 1.5 to 2 minutes of rest in between, and work your way up to 5 reps every time. So another thing that we need to try to add daily is a stretching routine, mobilizing our hips, mobilizing our shoulders, keeping everything moving and not get stiff, right? Especially in this time where we're not able to get in an environment that kind of forces us to do so, right? So the first thing is just gonna be a shoulder flow, real simple. Now a lot of people can get into this position, but if you can, we are gonna work on rotating into kind of like a bear crawl position. So from right here, all I'm going to try to do is try to drive this foot as far behind me as I can. I'm going to work on getting my hips extended, and I'll reach my arm up and over as far as I can go. I am not very mobile or flexible versus a lot of y'all, so this is the best I can. If you can get your hand all the way over on the next side, fantastic. And then we'll just return back to that neutral position. From right there, I'll do the same thing next side. I'm going to drive my leg behind me, get here, get my hips extended, and I'm gonna reach, and I'm gonna open up my chest and my shoulders. Really good for that shoulder as far as stability and getting a good stretch through that bicep, shoulder, and chest area. And yeah, just kind of going through that slowly and easily, kind of open up your shoulder and chest, and make sure you're staying mobile.